everyone, it's Melanie here from the Halton Hills Chamber of Commerce, and I am joined today with Denise, who is the owner of Within Sight Psychotherapy. Denise, welcome to the Chamber and welcome to your member spotlight.
Thank you so much, Melanie. I'm glad to be here.
So we always have a conversation with everybody ahead of time, and want to let everyone know that Denise is lovely, and I know people are sometimes a little hesitant about what is psychotherapy and why would I go and what would I get out of it. So I thought maybe we'd start there because you are just lovely, and I can just imagine that anyone that is coming to you or any of your other clinicians is going to really feel comfortable. So maybe talk to us a little bit about your practice and what it is, maybe your value proposition or what your vision is for your clients and your patients.
Sure. So we service a wide array of different clientele. Teens 12 plus is where we start. We see adults, couples, and as well as families. So we sort of offer that broad range. The thing that makes our clinic a little bit different is that we are very much focused on action. So, no matter who you see in the practice, you can be sure that you're going to be working on building tools, building skills, and not just endless conversation. So, our motto is get unstuck, get clear, and get going.
Love the get unstuck. And I would
Yeah.
imagine that especially a lot of families coming in, especially, we're perpetuating kind of old, patterns that they've learned from their own previous families. And so some action-oriented, therapy and coaching, I'm sure would be really helpful. What kind of, so if I'm watching this video and if I've been kind of flirting with the idea of going to
Sure.
therapy, what types of issues, can therapy help me with,
Mm.
specifically, the your practice and your clinic?
Yeah, so we do have a few specializations at our clinic. We specialize in anxiety, OCD, and perfectionism.
Hmm.
And we have a 12-week anxiety relief program for perfectionists. It's a structured one-to-one program where you meet with a therapist on your own. So it's not group therapy, and I want to be very clear about that. It's
Hmm.
just a structured program that is focused on helping with that specific issue. So that's kind of one area that we specialize in. We do a lot of CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, with our clients, which helps with the thought processes that we're experiencing and the link to the emotions and behaviors that we
Hmm.
engage in, helping to reframe
Hmm.
those pieces. And then exposure therapy, if you've ever heard of that, that's
Hmm.
what ERP, exposure and response prevention, is all about. So we have those specializations. And then the other side of our specializations is on relationship issues.
Hmm.
So we have couples therapists who are trained in the Gottman method for couples therapy. And we work together on building skills, improving communication, your connection, your emotional connection,
Oh.
infidelity, things like that. Mhm.
I think I've seen those people on TikTok. They're like the relationship experts, aren't they?
Yes,
Yes. Okay.
yes.
Oh, amazing.
Doctors
Okay.
John and Julie Gottman,
Yeah.
they are phenomenal.
Yes. Yeah.
And we are Gottman obsessed over here.
I love
So
that.
we love them. And we try to embody a lot of the
Mm-hmm.
teachings from their trainings. So
Mm-hmm.
myself and another clinician on our team, Keely, are trained in Gottman method. And so we use that for couples therapy. Yeah.
I love that. And I would
Yeah.
bet, so my takeaway from that is, I think a lot of families, couples wait until they're broken before they start therapy. And I feel
Great
like
point.
it's kind of like the gym, if you can do some maintenance along the way and do some
Mhm.
some housekeeping, the ultimate outcome is going to be a lot better.
That is a really great point. I think a lot of people wait until they're at rock bottom, whether
Mhm.
that's their anxiety, OCD, perfectionism,
Right.
um, teens at school, or couples and families. They're
Mhm.
waiting until they're absolutely shattered to come
Mhm.
in and see us. And what I would say to that is, even if what we're working on are small tweaks,
Mhm.
that makes a significant change in your relationship or in your relationship with yourself,
Mhm.
or your family, and it's worth coming in for that. We do premarital therapy as well.
Oh,
So
great.
It's a little bit of a niche that not everybody works within, but I think it's a
Mhm.
really beautiful thing to, when you're deciding to commit to somebody, come in
Mhm.
and talk about some of those deeper things that maybe you haven't talked about together with
Mhm.
someone there who can help
Mhm.
guide those conversations and teach you some skills.
Yeah, I love that, because I would imagine there's a lot of shame attached to things that we don't say out loud. And so if you can say it in a safe space with someone who's guiding the conversation, the outcome is so much better. And I do love the focus of your practice on teens, especially those that do have that
Mhm.
perfectionism kind of profile, because I think the teens do struggle, and
For
there's so
sure.
much pressure on them to be a certain version of themselves.
Yeah, one of the biggest areas with teens that we work on is actually that final year, whether it's grade 11, grade 12,
Hmm.
between transitioning from high school to post-secondary and all the pressures that come
Hmm.
with that. We do love working on that. Other teen issues too, peer relationships is a huge thing.
Yeah.
A lot of like friendship breakups, pressure academically,
Hmm.
pressure with sports as
Yeah.
well.
Oh, yeah. I never thought of that.
Hmm.
And so that
Hmm.
leads me to my next question. So I'm assuming that, if I've got coverage, if I have benefits, that I can get those reimbursed through, I'm not sure if you do direct billing, but you've got all the qualifications and credentials for me to get reimbursed.
That's a great question. Yes, we have this question all the time.
Hmm.
So on our team, we have registered psychotherapists and registered psychotherapists qualifying.
Hmm.
Qualifying just means that they're collecting their hours. They do have supervisors, and we put those supervisor names on the receipts as
Oh,
requested to ensure that you have that coverage. So the only thing we always say is just double check what designation you have coverage for on your insurance plan
hmm. Hmm.
before you start the sessions, because some plans only cover psychologists or only cover social workers.
Oh.
And we are registered psychotherapists, so you'll see
Hmm.
that, or you'll see psychotherapy.
Interesting. Okay, well, that is good to
Mhm.
know. And then do you offer in-person and virtual, or is it just one or the other? And how can we get in touch with you?
Yeah, great questions. We offer both. So, for your convenience, if you'd rather do your sessions from home, you absolutely
Hmm.
can. We have a virtual platform that is PHIPAA compliant, which is our privacy laws here in Ontario, and it's
Okay.
encrypted end to end. So, you know you're covered there for privacy reasons, confidentiality. But we have our in person location as well. That's where I am right now. We're located on Main Street in Georgetown, just above Boborama.
Super. Well, I mean, first of all, I cannot believe how calming you are. And I think that anyone would benefit from meeting with you or anyone else on your team. So we're so happy you're chamber members. And we're going to encourage everybody to reach out if they think they can need some help. And like you said, it doesn't need to be rock bottom. It could just be, we get our hair done every 4 to 6 weeks. There's no reason why we can't talk to someone about how we're doing, mentally as well.
Absolutely. And we do offer free 20-minute
Hmm.
consultations to see
Okay.
if you have the right fit on the team.
Mhm.
So I think that's another valuable resource, and we are happy to chat whenever.
I love that. Hey, Denise, one last question. We'll leave everybody with this. If you could tell, your clients what should they be looking for when it comes to fit? Um,
Mhm.
is it just a comfort level? Is an alignment of values? What are the things you would
Yeah.
say?
I think there's a couple of things that you can be keeping in mind, but more than anything, you want to make sure that the clinician that you're paired with is trained in the issues that you'd like some support with.
Oh, okay.
Especially with things like OCD, you want to make sure that the clinician you're working with is trained in ERP, right? We don't want
Mm-hmm.
to mess around here. We want to make sure that you're paired with the right person. And then the other piece is your connection.
Mm-hmm.
The relationship that you have with your therapist is actually, scientifically speaking, research based, way more effective than the modality that you're using.
Oh,
So you
interesting.
want to make sure, first and foremost, that you feel comfortable and connected with your clinician, and then that they're trained in the thing that you need.
So you have to ask those questions. Yeah, that's great. That's good to know. Well,
Yeah.
so great to meet with you today, and we'll make sure to list your phone number and your website, and people can get in touch if they're interested in having that consultation. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you, Melanie.